What's up, everybody? You tuned into the It's On Us podcast. I'm with Zav and my boy Anthony Sammons. When y'all seen this election, November 8th on a Tuesday, what was going through your head as the electoral college votes were coming in?
Man, I felt disgusted, bro, on some real, because Trump really won in a landslide. You know, Clinton didn't stand a chance. Everybody thought that she was going to win, and I thought she was going to win, but this just goes to show that our country isn't ready for a woman president, and really resented the fact that we had a black president for so long.
Facts.
You know, that's just the way I feel. Like,
yeah, I don't know. It go kind of deep when it comes to presidential stuff and governmental. You know what I mean? Anything that has to do with the system. But I've been said Trump was gonna win. Only because...
Did you?
Months back. I already knew he was going to win because they wasn't going to let Hillary get it. You know what I mean? We already had too many threats. Like, people were already trying to come at America, but I don't know. It's just deeper than that, I guess. I know votes matter, you know what I mean? I'm not going to say that people's votes don't have a factor to some things because I don't really know, but I feel as though if we really could change the world, they wouldn't give us the opportunity to vote. You know what I mean? Because we always gonna vote for something better. The world ain't that stupid to the point where we like voting for puppets and whatnot. But that's the way it seems, honestly.
Now, I saw a post where somebody said having a black president for 8 years and then having a woman president would have been a threat to white male authority. Do y'all believe that threat of them losing power in the United States?
I think the power is gonna remain the same. And honestly, it's been a lot of conflict now that Donald's in the office officially. You know what I mean? There's been people getting terrorized, just like back in the day. Back in the day when slavery fully existed. You know what I mean? Because it never went anywhere. It's not like it just disappeared. It's just the way that people show it. They have a way with the media now. They don't want to show everything that's being publicized. So I just think it's a loss. This election was an insult to our intelligence, for real. Because as people, it's like, you got to know the background of each president you got. You can't just sit there and be like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to go by this speech and what she said and what he said, because they all can talk a good talk. Each president talked a good talk. Obama said a lot of great things. And just because he was African-American, people were like, oh, let's just vote for Obama, you know what I mean? But nobody did their research. Nobody really sat down and took the time to be like, okay, well, let's see what he really gonna do. Let's see what he really gonna work with, you know what I mean, for America. Hillary said the same thing after she lost. She was like, well, it's not really about the one-on-one thing with me and Trump, basically, but who's better for the country. So Trump said a lot of great things. So did Hillary. I just want to see what's going to happen after the years go by.
yeah, I'm scared of what Trump really gonna do for real, because he's saying, you know, he done said that Mexicans, you know, Mexicans bring in rapists, and they also say that, you know, they're not bringing their best and brightest. So how can you say that?
It's crazy.
And then at the same time, you're saying that, you know, you have a vice president that, one, he said that cigarettes didn't kill people in 2000. You know, a lot of people don't even know that. He said cigarettes didn't kill people. Then his vice president also said that, you know, he just said he tried to push forth anti-gay legislation.
Yeah.
And now you make a speech saying that you're gonna protect gay rights. Like, that's, you feel me? That's it just
it's a lot of contradictions.
It's a lot of contradictions in this whole campaign. And then, you know, to say that you're the president that's going to represent everybody in the country, I just think that that's a blatant lie.
And on the cherry on top, he's going to court next month for a rape charge.
Yeah, like, child rape.
What type of president should we have? Yeah, child rape on top of that, where it's like he literally admitted to sitting there and I don't know, man.
Now, like you just said, with the rape and everything, with the rape and contradictions, if Donald Trump were a black man, would he get this far?
If Donald Trump was a black man,
with all the things he said?
I think that Donald Trump would be Ben Carson. I think he would be like a Ben Carson type of person, where if he was black, people would call him Uncle Tom, and people would call him, you know, against black people, they would call him. They would probably call him a coon for real. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's not to say that Dr. Carson isn't a good man, but the way his beliefs, you know, it just. But here's the thing: Dr. Carson is religious. Donald Trump really isn't all that religious. Okay, so when you talk about how he crushed his opponents, the Republicans are a very religious people. Mm-hmm. You know, so for him to conquer and get the Republican nomination, it just goes to show that people were tired of hearing the same old things. Like, oh, the Democrats were gonna be you know, for black people and for Hispanics, and then the Republicans, oh, we're for the Christians, and we're for, you know, the middle class white people. You know, everybody just got tired of hearing the same old things. And you know, when Donald Trump, he's not a politician. That's the first thing he said. You know, he's not a politician. So really, America let someone who's not a politician be president of the United States. You know.
Okay, yeah. So like I said before, man. So like, think about it. The things that he said about Mexican people, mm-hmm. And also Arabics, code word he used Muslims, mm-hmm. for saying for Arabic people. Mm-hmm. You know. So if a black man were to say those things about Mexican people and Arabic people, I feel like he wouldn't even have got past the primaries.
Exactly.
You know. So like, to me, that goes into the whole white privilege
mm-hmm.
area. And he targeted the poor white people that helped them economic wise or anything. They're just gonna be happy to see an open white supremacist in office. That's my opinion.
Right.
And Zav, you said before that months ago you thought you predicted that Trump would win. Mm-hmm. In your opinion, didn't the media do everything they could though to make sure that we didn't vote for Trump when it came to blasting out his stuff?
Yeah. Stats wise, I was just looking at that while I was at work the other day. Hillary had about $29.9 million worth of advertisements. Trump had like 19 million. So she already knew she was losing, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So she was trying to do everything in her power to try to blatantly put his image down. But even that goes to show that people don't care. Like, he literally said that he grabs women by their private without asking. Like,
yep.
And he can kiss whoever he want, you know what I mean? It's like, how is this cool? How is this as a human being, you know what I mean? Despite the color of our skin, like, how are you sitting there looking at something like that and say, okay, well, I still want him to be the strongest person in charge of everything as far as the world goes? Because the president really isn't the most powerful person. There's people bigger than him. Mm-hmm. He just there has to be a name placed, you know what I mean? It has to be somebody to fill that spot. So for Trump, it's like, I used to watch him get slammed on his neck back in the day in wrestling, and then to know that now he's going to be sitting there calling the shots of what happens with the world, it's crazy, man.
No, I watched and heard and seen things on social media, and then me just reading and taking the time to look at articles and things. You know, not only did he get the hillbilly, poor trailer park trash vote, he got the middle class white vote and a lot of the rich upper class white vote. Now, for the trailer park trash people, the poor people, when they find out he's not going to actually do anything for them, I think they're not going to care, because they're so happy that Obama's not in office.
Yeah.
That face not in office.
Yeah.
Like, to piss them off every day, they got to wake up in the morning and realize that a black man is president of the United States, even though, like you said, it's not the most powerful position in this country, because I think we all know that the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and run everything.
That's
but
where to go.
You know, but for, like I said, but for these hillbillies, I think, like before with Bush, right? The economy was not great at all. But in their eyes, it's like, I'm happy Bush is in office. Yeah. Now, when Obama, you know, economically made things better for us, you know, I can't say he actually did that much at least. they were just pissed off saying, you know, everything's bad, everything's bad, everything's bad. But the fact, the bad part was seeing his face. Like
every day waking up,
exactly,
as African American, the strongest person in the world. Yeah, it chewed him up, and they couldn't wait for him. On top of that, he served another 4. You know what I mean? So we had him for 8 years. That's a big blessing. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's good that you do have to recognize the stereotypical point of it, because it's a big factor. You know what I mean? Racism exists. Racism strongly exists, and places where there's poverty and places where there are, like, the suburban areas, it's real. You know what I mean? You may not even know somebody, but just because of the color of their skin, you already judge them. You already said, okay, well, you're this type of person, so I'm not gonna speak to you.
Exactly.
When the flip side of it is, I got just the same heart as you. We got just as many body parts. We got the same everything. And some people do fit the stereotype, and they want to fit the, you know what I mean? They want to fit the stereotype. But when it's for a bigger purpose, it's like, knowledge is everything. And you got to really know somebody to understand their whole mindset and how they work as a person. You know what I mean? Obama is like, he did his thing. You know what I mean? He did his time. He served his time, and then he's gone. I just want to see what is Trump going. What is he going to do different? You know what I mean? Like, I want to see what's going to happen that is so beautiful to why the whole world basically voted for him. I know people saying they're going to Mexico and Canada and all that other stuff, but it's not going to change anything for America. You know what I mean? You leaving the problem isn't going to change anything. The world is already going to get worse anyway.
And I think, the sad part is, like, for somebody to hate you just because how you look, to me, that's sick.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, I can't wake up, no matter how many times, like, I see, like, prejudiced people and racist people. I can't wake up in the morning and be like, you know what, I'm gonna pass a law just because you this skin color and all this. Like, I can't do it. So to see this racism is crazy. So Anthony, have you seen the articles and things that's been going on with these kids saying racist remarks to Latino kids and black kids, like writing nigger on the wall and you know, spick and all types of stuff, writing swastikas on the bathroom stalls, and I see, like, you know, you spreading awareness about that on social media. Like, you always do a great job of that. I commend you on that.
Thank you.
And I see, you know, a lot of you had a couple haters on your page the day of the election. I don't know, what was it? I'm not. And the thing, I respect our veterans, but I don't know if it was a Marine coming at you or somebody.
Yeah, you know, my friend's in the Army, you know, so one of the things we always talk about politics, and you know, he always disagrees with me, but he always has something. He always has something important to say, which, you know, I can respect that. You know, it's when people don't have anything constructive to say.
Yeah.
You know,
when the negative overpowers the positive.
Exactly. So, you know, you can be a Republican. Like, you know, it's not a. You know, I'm not gonna hate you for being a Republican. You know, but at the same time. Oh, that juke was second. That juke was second. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that. You know, I'm not gonna say that. You know, a Republican is wrong, but at the same time, I don't believe their beliefs. So at the same time, I don't. But but his name is Bobby Lop. You know, we went to DMA together, so I was kind of already friends with him. If I weren't already friends with him, I probably have blocked him or something. But I'm keeping it real. Yeah. You know, but you know, just the fact that I can respect his input, you know, it makes me want to listen to him.
I was telling Anthony about the things I've seen posted already that was in elementary schools and middle schools about like how these young kids, and it's not their fault because they're learning from their parents. Exactly. The things that they're saying, like they're writing nigger on the wall, swastikas, making fun of Latinos. Now I said, like, this is already a bad thing, and I'm glad people spreading awareness about it, because this bullying is getting out of hand. The past first 1 or 2 days that we found out he got elected, the fact that young kids in kindergarten and through like 8th grade are spreading that type of hate, you know, that's something got to get done. Like, what are some solutions, man? Yeah,
I feel like the parent is the reason for the child's life, no matter what. You know what I mean? Like, there are some things that it's your free will. We all got our free will to do what we please in this world. You know what I mean? But when you're at an early, young age, you're not seeing much. You know what I mean? You're not in the clubs. You're not sitting there on the corners and whatnot. I'm not gonna say that for every child, but for the majority of the part of America, if you raising a family and you got your kids who are in like a higher district school doing things as such, you know what I mean, writing that stuff and calling people out of their name. These names, they're being taught. Racism mostly is taught through bloodline, you know what I mean, through the parents. Like, okay, I don't want you around kids like that. If he has this color, you not supposed to be around him. I don't want you talking to them. And actually, it's cool we on this subject, because I used to date a Caucasian girl back when I was in high school, and we were dating for about a year and some change, you know what I mean, something like that. But it wasn't like we ever took it to the next level, and I wonder why. So my prom night, my senior prom night, her best friend actually told me, she said the reason why she can't go out with you is because her parents are racist. They don't like black people. And it hurt, because I'm like, she's in love with me, I'm in love with her, you know what I mean? I can see it, but it's like, because they're higher than you, it overpowers everything. I have no role in anything. I can't change the color of my skin to be accepted by you and your family, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can relate to that part, you know what I mean? It's like, this is what the world is going to have to face. This is what the world going to have to see. Even for children, it's like, it's too early, you know what I mean? It's not going to be able to be accepted for long. World War III is here. I want to say that World War III is here. It may not be exactly how people like visually want it to be with the bombs and all that stuff, but trust me, it's everywhere. War has been started. We're doing a lot of things as far as America goes. I'm not going to say we, but America, we do a lot of things that are undercover. That's in the dark, you know what I mean? And they want it to stay secret. They don't want it to be exposed to the public, because if not, then that means we get smarter as people. They don't want that. They want everybody to stay exactly where they are, so it's easier to control everything. So in order for them to get on stage, Hillary, it's crazy, because like, she has health issues. She had, I was watching this one video, she seized up because she heard loud sounds, and it's multiple times where she seizes up, and it's like, I don't understand how somebody like that, and you got Donald Trump, his whole ego about him and everything is blasphemy to who we are as people, you know what I mean? It's like, that's why I said it's an insult to our intelligence. How are we going to put these people, and you want to say you want to better your child's life? Okay, well, look who you got in the chair now. If that's who you voted for, then you're completely contradicting, you know what I mean? This is just coming from somebody who sees both of them, you know what I mean? I've heard people who voted for Trump, who voted for Hillary, who voted for Sanders, you know what I mean, whoever it was. So I asked them, like, so whoever you're voting for, most of the time it's Hillary and Trump, because they were the top two. So I'm like, what makes one better than the other?
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's what we getting at. We're so if you just voting for somebody, you had to listen to what they say. So what did they say that initially made them better than the other candidate? I couldn't find any reason. But even then, that's why I said it, you only can go by what these people say, no matter what president was. A side note, JFK, who I feel as though was one of our realest presidents ever. Ever. John F. Kennedy stated, quote, "There's a plot in this country to enslave every man, woman, and child. Before I leave this high and noble office, I intend to expose this plot." Quote, 7 days before his assassination. And it's stuff like that that goes deep, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's not just presidential, but it goes to show you, because you have so much power and you want to change the world for the better, they'll still get you out of here.
Exactly.
Just because they trusted you to take an oath. You know what I mean? When you get sworn in, you take an oath to some things. I'm saying some things are written, you know what I mean, that you got to sign off on. But because of your heart as a man, and you see how messed up America was, because it was bad when he was in office. So he wanted to make a change. He wanted to do something different. Get you out of here. So any president, unless you want to end up like JFK, even though he was riding with the top down, it's the same principle. You can't better the world when you have that much power, because without If you're better in the world, that means they're losing money, and that's where it comes to at the end of everything. Money. They got media. They got everything. You know what I mean? Cars.
What you just said made so much sense too, because like now that you said that, from your opinion, now does this help the elite people like? Oh, my water's over here. Does this help the elite people like the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds? Because now that this happened, now we see it's a deep division in America. Now there's so many split up, like the whole tactic of or phrase divide and conquer. It's so many divisions now in America, more than ever today. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Do you think so? You think they're happy because of this now? Like now they can control America even more.
This is exactly what they wanted. This is exactly we're falling exactly where they want everything to be. They want the people to have a war against each other. So it's easy for them to do what they need to do because we're too busy distracted on the little things now. Like everything's small, everything's immature problems, and if we killing each other off as people, then that's exactly where it falls into.
Exactly.
Depopulation. That's what they want. They want us to kill each other off, and initially that's how the world is going to work anyway. Every second a baby's being born, somebody's taking their last breath. You know what I mean? That's just statistics. You know what I mean? So that's the cycle of life, but in a sense they're speeding the cycle of life in a negative way. You know what I mean? The complete contradiction. Okay, well, you want a better America. So with all the money, because money doesn't realistically exist, we create money out of thin air. But because that's where it evolves, these people have money. So why does poverty still exist in majority of the world? Those are questions that'll never be answered.
Did you ever say this as a kid when you saw poor people and you thought about money and how it was made? Did you ever say like, okay, why don't they just print more money so everything is just fine?
Yeah,
it's like print more money so you can pay bills, print more money to help out the people. Did you ever think of that as a kid? Like I used to always say that to myself. And you know, to me, the innocence of a child, sometimes when you say things, it does have common sense.
It does.
You know, it's like okay, well, why don't you just print more money to help out the people? Like it's just like, can't you just give them shelter? Or like the earth is so big, can't you just make a house for somebody? It's so, the innocence has common sense to it. But then as you get older and you learn the corruption and everything, and you get greedy, and it's like it is not your fault because the system teaches you that to survive this little survival and struggle and all this is like your mind becomes corrupt and then you start acting in the way you probably don't want it. You don't want to
because your eyes are opening now and you're starting to see the world for what it really is. I have had thoughts like that, like, yo, like why can't I just make all that money? You know what I mean? If this is such a problem, and that's why I'm saying, if you notice that thing as a child, then it's like it really is an alarm to people. It should be. You know what I mean? Thoughts like that, they're deep, and wisdom, it comes from all ages, and because children, that quote, children of the future, like, it's a very strong meaning. I don't think people really understand that part. Like me being 20 years old, you know what I mean? I'm not far from there. I remember those days being a kid. It's still fresh. I'm not too old. I'm not a senior citizen, but it's like the things that I've witnessed from that time of innocence up until now. It's like life changes dramatically when somebody's eyes open to what really goes on. Now you can make life the best, you know what I mean? You can try to make it the best you can, like the American dream or whatever you want to call it. Everybody has a dream. What you do with your life is your choice solely. So I wouldn't say that because of the rest of the world you can't be great, you know what I mean? You can't be successful. We're all legends in our own way, you know what I mean? But where's a bigger picture, there's stuff like that that need answers. Like, I don't get it. The numbers aren't adding up. If you got all this money to give people and it's like you got the war going on, people have been fighting this war for how long? For years and years and years to come. This war has been going on, but no problems are being solved. None. There's no problems. Thousands and thousands and thousands of deaths. Widows, the wives and kids, they get a knock on their door from these people, from this system, with a crispy folded flag, and they don't get anything back after that. They get your husband served well in our war and we'll always remember him. But there's no constant, like there's no peace after that. He's gone. But what did he really die for? And I'm not taking the peace or like the remembrance away from these soldiers. They fought war with their heart. They also had an oath, you know what I mean? So it gets deep when you're involved in the life of somebody. Like, this was his life and death, and he loved to do what he do. He died because of it. So it's like, what are you really sending these people out to war for? Because the war is not stopping. Violence is everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, it goes both ways. We're going into these countries antagonizing people, and they're getting tired of us doing it. You could look at the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Those are tragic.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't even want schools to really learn that anymore. They don't even want it to be known. All the legendary stuff America has done to other people, you know what I mean? Like, no matter what, there's nothing that you could say to me as a human being and say Japan deserved to be atomic bombed. These are 63,000 people plus killed. Now you got little kids, you got babies, women who pregnant, you have grandparents, husbands and wives, you got every family member that you could possibly think of, and they're all killed. And I guarantee the majority of that number, even if it was for a bigger purpose, a war, they're not giving us money, things like that. So this is what we do to y'all. And for that fact, that's why we get everything from them. You can't go against America. But it's like the knowledge that's being taught. And then this stuff like this, it's going to prevent a child from learning. That means that goes back to children of the future. Like, since the kid is not going to learn anything deep, he's not going to be able to grow deeply as a human, as when he gets older, as a mature person. You know what I mean? Because the way he started off, the way their school system has started off, they're not even going to school to learn anymore. They just going to school to make fun of people. They're not, it's no respect anymore. Like, people are going to get, like I said, racism, it didn't go anywhere. But it's just populating now. It's just multiplying and multiplying. And if you look at the spike in numbers since he's been president, things have changed, and before he was even inaugurated, you know what I mean? Like, it's done. People are really going to take advantage that he's the president now. They're going to feel as though because the color of their skin, if they're white, they can ride around with the Confederate flags. And it's like, it's the meaning that you have behind it, though. Like, people are actually starting to be threatened for no reason. Like, pushed around and, you know what I mean, just abused.
That's it, man. And as kids, we weren't even. Funny thing is, as kids, we weren't even thinking about like
none of that
racism or anything. Like, you know, we watched our shows, have fun. You
Cartoons.
know, watch Even Stevens, Ed and Eddie, and Famous Jet Jackson, things like that. Then you had your friends. Like, you go play with your white friend, your Latino friend.
Childhood.
Like, everything was fun. And then like, but now the kids growing up now, they playing the seeds of racism where these kids don't even think about racism. Like, you got kindergartner who probably racist as hell now because of what the hell he's seen in the media, and with his parents, like, they got the media ignited the fire. Now remember when Barack got elected in 08, how we felt prideful and happy to be black because history was made. Now that they got an open races basically in the White House, for them history is made because it's repeating itself. They want it to be like 1930, 1940, 1950 again, and that they're not gonna hide that racism. They're like, you know what? He ignited the fire for me. I'm gonna be open with my white supremacy. You know?
Basically.
Because I think y'all seen the articles and things on Facebook and stuff now for the past 2 days. People getting threatened and all that. No matter what. Like, they used to be scared to do that shit to our face. Now they don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? Like the Klan, and then they walking on bridges and everything. They don't give a damn.
Yeah, they're open with it now. I have been seeing that. Like, I was reading something close in our city in Delaware. A lady was she was at the gas station, and she said that 4 white men got out their truck and approached her. You know what I mean? And was basically just saying anything that a racist person would say, period. And she said one gentleman approached her, and he was basically saying to her, like,
me off.
you are a waste of life. Like, we should kill you right now. She said one of the gentlemen walked up with a gun on him and showed it to her, and she was crying. A mother of two. And she said that's the first day in her life she was ever feared for her life, that she wouldn't make it home to her kids. And it's for no reason. Just because she's an African American woman and she's pumping her gas, and because Trump is president, they're able to terrorize our people now. And the system has always existed. They always wanted to control us. And it's like, it's hard to speak to some of these people because they act like racism doesn't exist. Like, they act like this stuff never happened, and how bad black people had it. Like, how are you're not trying to teach slavery anymore. The books and everything that's being
trying to say we servants.
Yeah, like, you literally are trying to make us forget that. Like, how? I don't get that. You want us to remember 9/11.
Push it down your throat.
You want us to actually sit there. I'm not saying that 9/11 wasn't a tragedy. It was.
It was, yeah.
It was. But in the same breath, how does that make us feel as people that we're supposed to forget what our ancestors went through?
Yeah, you're right. You know what? Like you said, these schools, they have to be fair when it comes to teaching history. You can't outshine
You have
something
to balance it.
like when we were growing up in middle school and high school, we know the Holocaust was shoved down our throats. Sad ass situation, shouldn't have happened. Yeah, Hitler deserves to be in hell. All that shit, all that shit was fucked up. What he did to the Jewish people.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, the same light and the same sadness was not pushed on in slavery, because they were testing us with teeth, like pulling our teeth out, testing us for surgeries. They did all types of shit, raping the little boys, little girls. But we can name millions of things that they did to us.
Man.
What was you gonna say, Anthony?
Oh no, I was gonna.
Emmett Till, man. Emmett Till.
But I was gonna say, they used to feed us to alligators, bro. They used to feed black babies to alligators in Florida. There's actually porcelain figurines of like babies in like alligator mouths.
It's crazy, man.
Like,
and we're supposed to forget that.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
we're supposed to forget that though. How?
Yeah, that's the most fucked up thing you could hear.
And then you wonder why black people, because racism is racism.
Yeah,
I'm not on either side. I never will be. I've never been a racist.
Oh, hold on, real quick. When a white person, I'm not gonna say when a white person says a black person is racist, it's not, we don't have the power to actually like say, okay, Michael Jordan is not saying I'm not hiring white people. Oprah's not saying I'm not hiring white people. When they say black people are racist, they're talking about name calling. So we call them a cracker or some bullshit like that. But when we talking about white racism, we talking about the full spectrum. We talking about not getting hired, having laws being sent against you, saying you can't come to this home, redlining, being in the hood on purpose, that they set us up. They set up the hood on purpose. All that shit is racism. Now with us, racism for us is just name calling. Don't compare, like, you know what I'm saying? Don't compare that shit.
Exactly, because it's two different meanings. You mean to say that I'm over here, I've never, you know what I mean? Say for example, you got a black man, and he's a father of 3, and he wants to support his family. He's a single parent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So his income is everything that they have.
Yes.
So this one particular African American man is hoping to get a job so he can support his family and they can have a future. And for him to be black, it will cost him his job based off if he feels as though the employer feels as though he fits a certain stereotype. Because being black, it is not, people won't understand it because you have to really see what we see. You know what I mean? You gotta actually be told what we're told and see how we see it from our eyes. If you take 2 different people from a suburban area who's never actually been in a poverty state of mind versus a person who's lived their entire life in poverty, and you flip them, let the poverty man go to the suburban area and let him live for 60 days. And take the suburban person and put them in the most poverty infested city and let them survive for 60 days and see how the story changes from when they switch to when they weren't. because what we see is different. Like, poverty anywhere is going to create war. You always going to have people who have rivalries, who are trying to be better, who are trying to come up. You know what I mean? We don't got what y'all have. It's not peaceful. You know what I mean? You gotta hear the sirens. You gotta feel that type of feeling at night, because you know how the streets work. You know what I mean? You gotta see what type of people are out there. You know what I mean? Homeless people, people strung out on drugs. These things are normal to see in poverty areas. They see it every day. You know what I mean? And you got some people who don't want to see it every day.
Yeah.
And they want to actually they want to have an opportunity to tell their part of it. Like, hey, I'm different and I want to be great. I don't want to be sucked into the streets, because there's more than that. And they don't want to hear that part from other people. You know what I mean? They just, it's like, no, I don't. Even at my new job, they already were telling me I've been working there for about 2 weeks now. And people are already telling me to watch out for certain employees because they're racist.
Crazy.
And I don't have any background at this store. I'm just coming here trying to actually better myself, better the company too. But still, because I have an opportunity to work, I want to take advantage of that. And I still have to be on the lookout for those things, because they're important. And for a job to see it and not do anything about it, it shows a lot. It is for. But until you start seeing the flip side of things, you know what I mean, and understanding that it's deeper than that, you'll never understand how true things get. Never, ever.
And to the from what I've seen, to those, not to all white people, but to the white people that were very ignorant on social media, like when Donald Trump won, you know, saying kill Barack, saying white is better, F all niggers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Especially them poor ones. Y'all got more in common with poor black people than y'all do with rich white people. Because look, first of all, you're in poverty. Let's say y'all in the Midwest. Your children are ODing on meth. Our children used to OD on crack back in the day, but you know now the script has flipped. Yeah. You know, so y'all ODing on meth. Yeah. You know, y'all having babies out of wedlock, just like everybody does. You know, y'all struggling. Yeah, some of y'all kids can't read, can't write. You know, it's a lot of crap going on in y'all neighborhoods. Y'all dying every day. Y'all killing each other. It's poverty. That's how. Look, y'all got more in common to relate with the poor black people, but the difference that y'all see is skin color, and y'all hate them. That makes no sense.
It doesn't.
And so you vote for a man who doesn't give a damn about you.
Yeah, basically. And because you want to feel more comfortable, and you want this person to actually get out of this chair so bad, you have a hate against him, and
Anthony killed it on 2K.
It's not even real. Like, okay, so Donald Trump, this man, which is actually it's actually like, it's not funny, but the fact that this man, you can see that he's laughing, not on camera, but deeper than that, he knows he knows what he's doing, and he's aware of it. Donald Trump said, if I were to run, I'd run as a Republican. They're the dumbest group of voters in the country. They believe anything on Fox News. I could lie and they'll still eat it up. I bet my numbers would be terrific. Donald Trump, People Magazine, 1998. So unless you sit there and tell me that, oh, well, this is years ago, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it was old, you know what I mean? Or you gonna believe him that it was a joke, I was just lying. Whatever you say, every joke has a little truth to it.
If Barack said that, they would have shoved that shit down our throats.
Yes, and if Barack said something like that, I guarantee it would have been all over his forehead. As far as media goes, oh yeah, we're definitely gonna put that up. But nobody wanted to show this quote while he was running for president. Is it because it's not from 2016? It was from 1998. What makes you think that the heart of this man changes that? Forget the curse words. Everybody can say a cuss here and there. You know what I mean? But he's marking words that are hitting families, you know what I mean? That are literally, it's in your house. You gotta hear him say this stuff through your television. And they got kids too. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You right. Well,
these Mexicans got kids too.
Yep.
You feel me? It's like, because of their race, automatically it's like circumstances are different.
Yeah. You know what? I asked my professor one time too. I said, what's really so bad about Mexican people coming into the U.S.? I said, do you guys have that problem when the Canadians come over here? And my professor said, you know what? That's a great question. I said, because a Canadian, they could probably come over here and stay here for the rest of their life, and you won't notice it, would you? No. And they were like, damn, that's a great question.
Yeah, it is.
And it was like, they said, because you wouldn't check for their papers. And I said, do you think that has to do with the race? And then they tried to scapegoat and said, well, I don't think that.
Sean. No. Yeah, you think that. Don't sit there and try to change the subject. No. Because he's Mexican, you're automatically going, where's your green card? Where is it? And I've watched these things, you know what I mean? There's a reason that I'm writing again, like, writing these raps. Like, I'm not talking about no guns. I'm not talking about killing somebody. I'm not talking about taking the chicks to the crib or to the clubs. Like, I'm not talking about all that stuff, because that's what the world promotes. Those things are worldly. That's what you hear on the radio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They want to hear that stuff. They want to see the girls in the videos and all that. That stuff is not bettering somebody's life. You know what I mean? It doesn't make me less of a man to speak on that. But I don't want my kid to grow up like that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'm not trying to have him sit there and I got my son and he feels as though it's comfortable to either disrespect the whole entire race of a female for no reason, you know what I mean? True. Just because that's what he sees. That's what he's going to grow up in the school with. People, you got kids calling females the B word, you know what I mean? And it's like, that's normal. Like, how old are you?
Oh shit.
How old are you? Why is it comfortable for you? You saying this thing like you say it everywhere.
Yeah. It
doesn't even sound like it's irregular for you. Like, it sounds like this is how you talk. You talking like an adult or somebody on the street. And it's like, it's things like that's gonna keep happening. It's consistent, and it's like nothing's gonna stop it. Nothing's gonna change it. Everything is gonna get worse by the day. It's gonna get deeper by the day, and people aren't gonna really start to understand until it hits their home. Until and let's flip the script. Until, okay, you got black people being pushed around for no reason, and you could try to save the situation all they want. You mean to say this lady at the gas station, what if they're threatening her life? They said they said that yo, if there weren't witnesses around, they said to her, you're lucky there's not witness around, or I'll shoot you dead right now, you nigger.
They lucky wasn't no brothers around, because we ain't like our great grandparents. We not turning the other cheek.
Yeah, that's why I said. That's why I said.
We can't afford to turn the other cheek, and that's only because, you know, even Martin Luther King, before he died, he said, I felt like I was integrating my people into a burning house.
Yep.
You know, so he, even at the end of his life, he felt like, you know, white people really, they're never really going to get over their hatred of us, like, no matter what it does.
And I respect and love everything Dr. King and them did, and I understand, like, his whole method and stuff, because he had a human heart. He had faith that maybe the oppressor and them, they would look at us and be like, you know what, that's fucked up what we're doing.
Yeah.
But
it's a lot deeper than that, because I've lost homies to the streets, you know what I mean? Same people I've once shook hands with, same people I've eaten meals with, you know what I mean? That I used to be out there with you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're gone now. You're not living anymore. You won't ever be able to feel the air of the world ever again. You're taking away generations to come, my G. Like, you aren't just like solving a problem for this one person. You taking away somebody's grandmom, somebody's mom, somebody's daughter, somebody's brother, everything. And that's just for their, you know what I mean, their actual race, you feel me? But their generation to come is nothing. It's going to be nothing. And it's sad. It's like you literally took him away for that. Like, this is how the world works, you know what I mean? I've lost, death is everywhere.
Yeah.
I've lost death with family, you know what I mean? Just natural death. And then I've seen it in a more street perspective. Like, either way, it's like, wow. But this is hitting other places now, you know what I mean? Everybody can relate. Anybody, even though our last names might not be they might not be the same, but I've lost my grandma. You lost your grandma. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what makes her death more higher than mine? And I'm not gonna put my grandma's death over yours. But what I'm saying is, you won't know the pain of somebody until it happens to you.
Exactly. That's
You
so
got
true.
some people in the hood that literally get killed innocently.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Innocently, just because of these people just being shot, like, or trying to get shot at. The bullets ricocheting and they hit somebody in their heart, their back, their head. And the media is not going to do anything. The media is just going to say somebody got murdered.
Yeah.
And they don't know the real story behind anything. And they don't even want to even figure out a story.
Exactly.
They just want to put it, somebody got killed in this city. And this is the 6th murder of this month. Like, that's all they want. That's all they're going to put on front screen. But they're not going to go deeper in the city and say, hey, we know the real reason behind that murder. You know what I mean? This is their age, their name, and who they're survived by. That's it. And especially if they black, you get they might get a little bonus by interviewing you and sitting there and you talking about how you lost your daughter or your son. You know what I mean, to gun violence. And people don't even care about it. They just gonna look at it and be like, oh man, stupid city.
You remember Larry Lips?
Yeah, man, that was my bro.
I ain't know him though.
That was my bro, my nigga.
Damn.
Larry gave me my first iPod ever.
Shit.
Back in the day when I was in bar, we was in like, he was in 8th grade, I was in 7th. He gave me my first iPod ever. It wasn't the little skinny long ones, it was a little square.
Yeah.
He gave me my first one for $5 and I was the happiest kid ever. Cause I was raised with my grandma, so I didn't have much. She wasn't buying no electronics and everything that was hip. You know what I mean? I didn't get none of that. He gave me that iPod, and I was happy as hell. I was happy as hell, and it's like I went to school with both of them. The boy who killed him and
wow. So you went to school with the boy who killed him, and you went to school with Larry.
And I went to school with Larry.
Wow.
Me and Larry lived in the same neighborhood.
So you know how they fought at the party?
Yeah.
Was it over a girl?
Over his girl.
Over his girl, and Larry gave him the beat down, and so the boy came back with a good one. Like, what happened?
That's exactly what you.
Oh, okay.
That's what sums it up.
And that's a sad thing.
But they were cool.
Oh wow.
They were cool, bro. They got pictures together. You can still go on Facebook.
So the boy got that mad that he had to kill him?
Yep.
Shit, man, what's wrong?
Took his girl.
He took his girl from him?
Yeah.
Killed him.
Okay,
the girl,
he in jail now, right?
Yeah, I ain't gonna speak his name, but he had a girl, and she ended up wanting Larry.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that's what the beef was about, and Larry's gone because of it.
That's it.
It started from there, kinda, honestly. After Larry died, it was like a spark of just everything. Like, that's how it seemed. It's
I know. You're right.
Larry was like the first real death. It was like, I remember seeing this picture and it was like R.I.P. Larry, and I'm like, I only know one Larry, you know what I mean? I'm only cool with like one Larry, and since we on Facebook, you my close friends, you know what I mean? So what Larry you talking about?
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh no.
It's Larry.
It's Larry, and you know when it hits home when somebody says the name twice. If somebody close to you dies and like they ask you that name and they say it twice, like, hold on, you mean not Larry, right? Like our Larry,
like our Larry,
like, oh wow, okay.
Don't feel like real life.
Yeah, then that's when it hits, you know what I mean? That's when it's like, And then the incident of it, once you find out the reason for it, you feel me? Yo, bro should still be here. Bro should still be alive right now. He got sisters. He had a mom who loved him. You know what I mean? He had homies who loved him. Like, he was a good dude. And he was young then. Larry's been going for
he's only like what, 16, 17?
17.
17 years old, dead.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, it was, because I had, you know, it's funny. Yeah, it's crazy that we're talking about this, because I was in yearbook class and I got assigned to do his memorial page.
For real?
Yeah, like I knew me and Larry both went to Pincater. I seen him in the hallway like twice, but we was never friends.
Did go to Pincater.
Yeah. So like it wasn't cool, and I'm not them people that be like, oh yeah.
You still got
pictures.
I hung out with. I'm not gonna lie, because I just found out more information about you. You know what I'm saying, from you. You feel me?
But you just knew him though.
Yeah, I just knew him from that, and so I had to do a memorial page and interview his friends. And it was sad. You know, that's the crazy part.
It is sad.
How like basically me and you got a connection from that, and we talking about it.
Yeah, basically, because everything is connected. Everything's connected, and like it's stuff that hits hard, man. That's why I'm doing something different. I'm not like trying to be out here. I understand the streets. Like I've seen both sides, and it's like you gotta hear it from us.
Yeah.
Because when I go to the burbs and I go to the suburban, you know what I mean, areas, I feel out of place. It's not comfortable for me out there. I'm used to seeing the blocks and the streets that I walk every night, you know what I mean, or that I drive past. Like I know these routes. Out here, we look like outsiders of y'all. You know what I mean? Like, who's that? You know what I mean? Like, I never seen them around here before. So when white people come to our neighborhoods and stuff like that, most of the time either you a druggie or you might be just a really good neighbor. You know what I mean? It's either one of the two. You know what I mean? Not all black people live down here, but you know what I mean? You see majority of us. That's just how the hood works. Like that's just how it is. Like there's no way around it. I can't sugarcoat it. This how it works. You gonna hear some police sirens. You gonna hear arguments. You gonna hear gunshots. You know what I mean? You gonna see poverty areas. You gonna see trash on the streets. You know what I mean? You gonna see graffiti. You know what I mean? You gonna feel the vibe of the city. Like what I mean. Basically, not like the everybody whole here has had,
you know, experience with drugs of some sort, or know people. It's people. I mean, it's people that, you know, you might not know somebody. You know, you might not do it yourself, but you know people. You know?
Exactly.
You know, so
I used to be one of those kids who said I never do drugs and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I remember there. I listened in school. You know what I mean? I was a smart kid. I graduated. You know what I mean? I graduated high school, so like. I remember those things. I remember the innocence. You know what I mean? It was there. It was clearly there. Like, but as I got older, started going through stuff in the life because of where I was raised. You know what I mean? Started living on my own. You know what I mean? Like, not on my own out there. You know what I mean? Getting a house and stuff by myself. But I started experiencing some changes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Being around different people, seeing what it was really like to be out here. Like. And it's a blessing. It's a blessing that I'm alive today, because I've walked the streets where people died on. You know what I mean? I've walked these same blocks like where people got shot at, like, and that stuff never happened to me. I ain't never had no gun in my face, but I've been around them. On the other side of it, man, wrong place, wrong time, anything. It's like the blink of an eye, you're gone. Like it was a young boy who just died a couple weeks ago. Drawling, man. Tamir. That was his name. He died a couple weeks ago, and I balled with him like 2 months ago. The young boy was 17, senior at AI. He was about to graduate in a couple months. You know what I mean? He got shot. He got shot out in Chester. He was in the car.
Oh yeah, he was in the car.
You seen that, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
He was in the car with some bulls, and they drove him. Well, his mom, that's how she stated, drove him to the woods and shot him in his chest and just.
His mom?
His mom said that.
Oh, okay.
He was found in the woods.
Damn, so they drove to the woods and shot him?
Yeah, like he I guess he was. I don't know who he was riding around with. That's the question that needs to be answered.
Yeah, that's
who was young boy riding with? You know what I mean? That's that, and it's sad because he'll never be able to talk again.
Yeah.
He'll never be able to tell who he was with. You know what I mean?
And it's kind of like they didn't get caught.
They won't get caught. You know what I mean? Because nobody knows. Okay,
they found him. That's
it. They just you're dead. Like
they
but
didn't find you. Yeah.
The mom, you so worried about the police. Worry about who your son was riding with that night. You know what I mean? Spiritual part of it is like I said, I know who to talk to spiritually to, and who not to. But God is very real. And I'll talk about him because I know he's in every human being. It's about how you tap into him and how you want him to use your life. You know what I mean? Yeah. So for the one who passed away from me, it's like, yo, I gotta wake up. I gotta pray. I'm praying every morning. It's not, he actually doesn't want you to brag about it. You know what I mean? You're not supposed to brag about those things. You're not supposed to glorify how much you use your time for God. You know what I mean? Most of those things stay personal, but in reality, yeah, I pray every night, during my day, before I end my night. And I give all glory to him and all my thanks to him because I ain't have to wake up today. You know what I mean? Some people that took they're taking their last breath right now. You know what I mean? Like, there's people that's going, like, and here I am. I have an opportunity to sit there and talk about my relationship with him. Every second is something that we gotta be grateful for. So for this city, it's like, y'all don't know what y'all doing. Y'all young. This problem could have been easily resolved if you just chose not to pick up a gun. But instead, his mom is gonna have to go and identify her son because you don't walk with a conscience. You don't know anything deeper than that. You don't believe. You didn't want to listen to your parents when they was kicking it to you about God. You know what I mean? They told you about the Bible. You know what I mean? Most of the people who get caught up in this mess is more tragic because they had a good heart behind it. All their mom knew was that they're a good kid. Yeah. My son wasn't gang banging. He wasn't in that. He was a good kid. Little did you know, your son killed one of them last week. But when he come home, he just walking in the kitchen like nothing ever happened. So you don't know. You hear the gunshots out there, but you would never think your son is behind the gun that's firing off. You know what I mean? Or that gun that's firing off is going into your son. So it's like, it goes both ways. And I talk to my pop and I'm like, yo, Pop, I'm different. Like, I'm over here, like, I could be smoking. Whether I smoke or not, it don't change my faith in God. Whether I don't drink, I don't do no dumb stuff, you know what I mean, to the point where it's tainting my whole mind completely. But I'm one of those people where I do something that people said I can't do. Oh, so I'm not gonna graduate because I smoke? Watch me. You know what I mean? Watch me then, because I know that it's deeper than this. I know that if I roll this blunt up right now, it's not gonna bring one of my homies back. You know what I mean? It's not gonna bring my grandma back. It's not gonna bring my aunt back. My whoever passed away. You know what I mean? And I know it's not gonna solve no problem either. If I pick up this gun, I know that if I use it, it's not gonna bring my homie back. You know what I mean? It's not gonna bring peace to my family. I might think it will. It's not gonna stop anything from going on. So once I pick up this gun, I'm gonna kill one of your squad. Then because everything's on social media, everything's glorified, you know it was me. So to get that shine, people kill somebody and they talk about it. Then the streets talk. Oh yeah, he killed such and such. So now all the north side gotta do is roll over the west side, spot you out because you on the block. You out there because you want to be on. You want to be on the block. You literally going, you feel me, murk somebody, and you want to be known for it. You want to be notorious for it, and now your life is gone. And it's like, I went to high school, man, AI, and people just dying off. Like I went to school with one of my boys named Alex Kamara. He was 16 years old. I remember breaking Pop-Tarts with him. sophomore year, I remember breaking Pop-Tarts with him, science class. You know what I mean? He was a good kid. And he was well at soccer. He played soccer. He played for the school. And he died at the park over there on near South Bridge.
Wow.
During his tournament. He was waiting to play.
Yep, in the middle of the tournament, yep. Just over some Jamaican boys.
Yeah, some little Jamaican beef. Jamaican and Africans or something like that.
Yeah, some Jamaican beef. And then, like literally niggas was shooting in the stands and he got hit with a straight bullet and it like he got shot right in the head.
He got shot right in the head and died.
Wow.
And he just, the bull, they killed the coach.
They killed the coach.
They killed the coach of the whole, the one who basically made everything. He set everything up for the whole tournament. They killed him. And the guy, the other shooter, it was two of them. The other one, he just looked at the crowd and just started shooting.
Yeah, looked at the crowd and started shooting at the crowd. Yeah.
Wow.
And he got shot. Just Alex got shot in his head.
That's it.
And it hurt, man. It's like, that's why it's like they don't know. You know what I mean? That's why I talk about the election and everything, because it's like y'all don't know what we going through. Alex, what you gonna tell me? You gonna tell me he deserved to die? Like his death it's not noticeable? You can go on a news journal too, because I'm gonna tell you something about that. That was crazy. I was actually, to keep it G, I was smoking before they interviewed me. I was out front with my aunt's boyfriend smoking a blunt. We had just finished smoking a blunt. This group walked past. They got vests on and everything. My eyes are bad, but it was nighttime. I'm looking at them, and I know who on the street. I know this block, you know what I mean? I looked at them, I'm like, yo, I never seen these people out here before. I said those exact words to my aunt's boyfriend. I'm like, yo, I never seen them out here. He didn't know. He was from somewhere else. I think he was from like Chester or something, or like PA somewhere. I don't know. And he didn't know. He didn't know who'd be out here. But I'm like, I was just saying it out loud. Like, I never seen, you know what I mean? I'm like, yo, I never seen these people before. And it was like, the streets was still kind of hectic. So I'm like, yeah, they probably just cops, you know what I mean? Undercover cops or whatever. But as they got closer, one of the dudes, he had a camera around his neck. So my aunt's boyfriend was like, "You taking pictures, man?" So the convo just sparked off, and we was talking about it. So question came up. I think my aunt's boyfriend asked him like, "So you know what I mean? What are y'all doing out here? Like, you know what I mean? What are y'all intentions or whatever?" And they were saying that they were trying to get closer to the city, basically. Like they wanted to knock on some doors and talk to people about what they seeing, not just to like get evidence, you know what I mean, of anything, but to really hear the side of the city, you know what I mean? Like, and I respected it. I'm like, yo, y'all out here when it's dark, where it do start getting crazy now, you know what I mean? Like y'all on 4th, like you on 4th Street down bottom, like you in the muck now, you know what I mean? Like you are on